Hi guys! Welcome back to my channel. One more time, babawi po tayo dahil sobrang naging busy tayo last December. According sa batas natin, concealment by the wife of the fact that at the time of the marriage, she was pregnant by a man other than her husband constitutes fraud and is a ground for annulment of marriage. Hi, tanong ko lang po, hiwalay na po kami ng husband ko simula pa last year. Then, gusto niya mag-file ng annulment. Ngayon, gusto din niya ipa-DNA ang baby namin dahil kailangan daw for filing of annulment. Ano pong grounds na kailangan ng DNA? At napakinggan ko po kasi sa YouTube channel nyo na until 5 months, pregnancy lang po pwede. Saan po doon ang fraud or pregnant by another man? Don't forget to click the subscribe button. Also, yung notification button so every time na may bago tayong updates or every time na sasagot tayo sa mga katanungan, you'll be first notified. So guys, let's go! Great! So, pag-uusapan natin at lilinawin natin kung ano ang ibig sabihin ng article na to sa Family Code. Unang-una, titingnan natin may concealment na nangyari and the concealment was made during the time of the marriage. And yung pregnancy is by another man, not the husband. When we say fraud, ito ang sinasabi ng batas. Yung consent ng aggrieved spouse has been tainted. So, when it comes to fraud, according naman sa Article 45, number 3, the consent of either party was obtained by fraud unless such party afterwards, with full knowledge of the facts constituting the fraud, freely cohabitated with the other as husband and wife. So, ibig sabihin nito, even though the concealment was made by the wife at nalaman nito subsequently ng husband na buntis nga siya during the time of marriage and yung pinagbubuntis niya is by another man. If after knowing that truth and after knowing that fact, the husband freely cohabitated for 5 years, hindi niya question yon as a ground to annul the marriage or to declare that the marriage was void, then the marriage will become valid. He only has 5 years from the time na nalaman na yon to question the validity of marriage. So, meron tayong dalawang cases dito na nadesisyonan na ng Supreme Court. So, sa case ng Buccat versus Buccat, tiname din dito ng husband that there was fraud and nire-raise niya ito as a ground to terminate the marriage. Ang claim niya dito is he never suspected na pregnant na yung babae when they got married. Or sabi ng court, yung plaintiff's claim was unbelievable because the pregnancy was already at the 7th month and imposible na hindi niya alam na buntis yung babae during the time of marriage. Ang sabi dito, it having been proven that the latter was already in an advanced stage of pregnancy, which is 7th month, at the time of marriage, it is impossible na hindi niya alam. So, ang consent niya doon was not tainted. He consented to the marriage even though knowing na 7th month pregnant na yung girl and during this time kasi na na-decisionan itong case na to, 1960s pa to. So, during that time, there's no other way to question yung paternity. Ginawang basehan ng court here is hindi mo na pwedeng erase na hindi mo alam na pregnant yung girl because she's already at the 7th month stage. It is very obvious that the girl is already pregnant, so yung consent niya was not tainted, hindi siya naloko or hindi siya na fraud. Another case na na-decision na ng court was the case of Aquino versus Delizo. It was also decided by the Supreme Court during the 1950s or 1960s where DNA was not available yet. Dito naman question ng husband na hindi niya alam na buntis yung girl during the time of marriage and hindi niya ito or hindi sa kanya yung pinagbubuntis ng babae. Pinakasalan niya yung girl when the woman was 4 months pregnant. Ang sabi ng court, at that stage, we are not prepared to say that her pregnancy was readily apparent, especially since she was naturally plump or fat as alleged by the plaintiff. So according to medical authorities, even on the 5th month of pregnancy, the enlargement of a woman's abdomen is still below the umbilicus, so hindi pa siya apparent. Tama lang na question ng husband that during the time of marriage, he was not aware. So it could fall into fraud, may pagtatago from the part of the woman. So, ang sabi ng court dito, that is to say, the enlargement is limited to the lower part of the abdomen, so it is hardly noticeable. If noticed, it may be attributed only to the fat formation on the lower part of the abdomen. It is only in the 6th month of pregnancy that enlargement of the woman's abdomen reaches a height above the umbilicus, making the roundness of the abdomen more general and apparent. If, as claimed by the plaintiff, defendant is naturally plump, he could hardly be expected to know, merely by looking, whether or not she was pregnant at the time of marriage. So, dito, she was 4 months pregnant and at the same time, medyo may katabaan yung si woman. Pinanigan ng court si husband dito that he really has no knowledge that the girl was pregnant at the time of marriage. So, we have to take into consideration na nung na-decidan itong mga cases na to, there was still no DNA test to prove paternity. So ngayon, since we have yung DNA test to prove paternity, it may be used by the husband to question the marriage, especially when nung time of marriage, hindi niya alam na yung dinadala nung girl is not his child. So maraming salamat sa pakikinig guys, sa susunod ulit. And thank you for your questions. Sasagutin natin yan lahat. And thank you for your support. Please keep sharing. Please keep giving us your questions para ma-address natin lahat. Have a great day, everyone.